Now's probably a good time to show you how to add checkpoints to your scenes. When playable characters like Connie activate a checkpoint, the scene remembers their progress. So when they respawn, they'll appear at the last checkpoint instead of the start of the scene. Go to the Assembly menu, then the Gadgets menu. The last section you used will still be open, so close it by pressing Circle over it. Expand the Gameplay Gear section with X and select the checkpoint. It's the one that looks like a location marker. There, now your imp is equipped with a checkpoint gadget. The direction of the checkpoint determines which way a character will be facing when it respawns. So make sure the front of the gadget, the side with the black outline, is facing the direction you want Connie to face. Remove the gadget from your imp with Circle, then open the Checkpoints tweak menu. Checkpoints use a detection zone, just like health modifiers. So select the Zone Size tab from the menu. This is set to a sphere by default, but to make sure players don't miss it, let's change it to a cube. You can use the zone size sliders to make the checkpoint cover the width of the platform. Above the gadget, you'll see a white Move gizmo. Grab it with R2 to move the activation zone where you want it. Just make sure Connie can't miss it. The white handle shows the direction Connie will be facing when she respawns. Check that it's pointing the right way. Grab it with R2 if you need to adjust it. Let's close that tweak menu with L1 and Circle, and try it out in play mode to see if the checkpoint remembers your progress. Sorry, Connie, we're going to have to respawn you again, but it's all in the name of science, I promise. Great, there she is, right at the checkpoint again. When you're ready, go back to edit mode, rewind the scene and move on to the next step. But Connie's a tough explorer, always ready for danger, so let's give it a go. But that block is too big for Connie to jump over. Better get back to safety before it's too late. Let's switch back to edit mode and see how the bridge is damaging Connie. Move closer to the bridge and keep an eye out for any gadgets attached to it. Ah, there it is. A Clockwork Heart gadget, which means another health modifier. Looks like instead of using a zone, this one is attached to the bridge, so whenever Connie walks on it, she loses health. If only that block wasn't in the way, she could make it across. What if the block itself could lose health? We could give it a health manager of its own and see how that works. Go to the Assembly menu, then open the Gadgets menu. You'll need to close the Gameplay Gear section you opened earlier, then expand the Movers and Output section. Look for the heart icon, not the Clockwork Heart this time. Select it with X to give your imp a health manager. Stamp one near the block with R2 or X, then press Circle to unequip it from your imp. To make the health manager affect the block, we need to attach it. The easiest way to attach gadgets to objects is to use what we call Surface Snap. Grab the health manager with R2 and hold it over the block. All you have to do to activate Surface Snap is hold L1 while your imp holds a gadget, making it hug the surface of any object you hover over. Now release R2 to attach the gadget to the block. You can also let go of L1 to stop using Surface Snap. In the next step, I'll show you how to tweak this health manager. Now that we've given the block health, let's take a closer look at it. Hover over the health manager, hold L1, Then press square to open its tweak menu. The sliders here tell you the block's maximum and current health. Click R3 to play the scene, and you'll see how the health starts to go down. That's because the bridge's health modifier is damaging it. But you'll now click R3 to play the scene, and you'll see how the health starts to go down. That's because the bridge's health modifier is. Click R3 to and press square to open its tweak menu. The sliders here tell you the block's maximum and current health. Click R3 to play the scene, and you'll see how the health starts to go down. That's because the bridge's health modifier is damaging it. But you'll notice it's going down much slower than Connie's health when she was on the bridge. The reason for that is that this health manager has a 1-second cooldown. So whenever the block takes damage, it's invulnerable for 1 second after that. Grab the cooldown slider with X and pull it to the left with your imp. So what happens when its health reaches 0? Not a lot. But we can deal with that in the next step. For now, feel free to experiment with the health manager settings. Then play the scene with R3 and rewind it with L3 to reset the health manager. Once you're done, you can move on to the next step. An object doesn't get automatically destroyed when it runs out of health, so we need to do a bit more before we can get rid of that block. Let's take a closer look at its health manager. If its tweak menu is still open, close that first with L1 and circle. See the output ports on its right edge. Hover over the one at the bottom, the one that has a heart with a cross over it. This is the no health output, which sends a signal when the health manager is depleted. It could be used to trigger any number of things, but now we're going to use it to destroy the block. Go to the assembly menu and take a look in the gadgets section. It should still be open from earlier when you selected the health manager section. And select it with X. This is the Destroyer gadget, which destroys whatever it's attached to. To attach it to the block, we can use Surface Snap. So hover the Destroyer over the block, hold L1 to make it Surface Snap, and press R2 or X to stamp it on the block. You can unequip the Destroyer with Circle now. OK, before we connect it up, let's just see if it works by clicking R3. Oh, it works all right. When the scene is playing, the Destroyer activates and destroys the block. Rewind the scene with L3 to bring it back. We don't want the Destroyer to activate until the block's health has run out. To do that, we'll need to connect the no health output port to the Destroyer's power. Now hover your imp over the no health output port of the health manager and press R2 or X to create a wire. This will make the power buttons appear on the gadgets in the scene. Stretch the wire over to the Destroyer and connect it to its power with R2 or X. Good. Time to test it again with R3 and see what happens. When the block's health runs out, it will get destroyed, leaving the path clear for Connie. But how do we know how much health the block has left? We could always look at its tweak menu, but you can't see that in play mode. So click L3 to rewind the scene, and I'll show you how to display health on objects in the next step. If you don't have the Health Manager's tweak menu open already, open it now with L1 and square. When you hover over the menu sliders and buttons, you'll see ports popping out of the side. These work just like the ones on the outside of the gadget, but there's a lot more of them. And you might also have noticed there's another gadget stamped on the side of the block. That's a number displayer gadget. And if we connect a wire from the current health output to the input port here, we'll be able to see the block's health count down in play mode. So let's go ahead and do that. Hover over the current health slider's output ports. Then press R2 or X to create a wire. And stretch it over to the number displayer. Once you've connected it to its input with R2 or X, you can switch over to play mode and test out the whole scene so far. Excellent. Now we can see the block taking damage until it's destroyed. Once you can get Connie to the next platform, switch back to edit mode and move on to the next step.